All right, everybody, welcome back. This episode, we're going to put a PC680 Odyssey battery in the Time Attack car. Up till this point, I've just been running a factory battery in the factory location. So we're going to go through relocating that into the passenger compartment and getting it all connected. Stay tuned. Okay, so first things first here, I've removed the factory battery tray and battery that was in here. As you can see, it's all gone. Opened up all that room, and this is where the old AC pass-through would have been if this car had it. I made an aluminum plate that goes in its place, and it's got a positive and negative battery terminal on it. This bolt here clamps to a plate on the backside that sandwiches the firewall. That bolt there attaches to a plate that sandwiches in the firewall, so it's nice and sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. So this is basically going to replicate the factory battery pulls. So here I've got my K-series battery harness, and I'm just looking at how I'm gonna connect this all up. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shorten this one, a new lug on it to here, and then I'm gonna extend this one to here, and there's gonna be another one from there to here, where this one originally would have gone to through the battery post. I'll show you where I've mounted the battery. This is where I've settled on mounting the battery. Clean that up. There's the back side of those power poles that I have in there now. And this is the battery. That's a Circuit Hero battery. Yeah, Circuit Hero battery box. And I did a 1/4-inch aluminum plate underneath, and that plate is bolted through the floor with some big ass washers on the other side. And those are my circuit breakers. So I'm gonna have the system on circuit breakers now instead of just relying on big fuses. So this way if something pops, I can easily reset it again. So let's go ahead and get some battery lines made. All right, next we've got our supplies for making the battery. So that's 4-gauge wire. It's welding wire, so it's got a fine core to it, lots of strands. And then I've got a whole bunch of crimp ends for batteries, plus a bunch of other random stuff there. I've got some red and black heat shrink with the glue inside, so this will seal any moisture out of the cables and keep them from going bad. I've got this hydraulic crimper for these ends to get a proper solid crimp on them. And then I've got some Tessa tape. And I'll also be using some of this as well. This stuff's pretty cool. It'll go over the wire and it kind of holds onto it. It's a good abrasive barrier, so I'll be putting that on these cables as well. I don't have any, that's all I have, so I need to get some more. So I'll get started. A little update here. I've got the ground wire done now. So this goes to here, and to there. So engine ground. I also have a number of other grounds to the body on this car. I have one here to the, here to the bracket for the power steering pump, and I've got 2 more over on that side as well, so should be well grounded. Okay, we'll move on to the positive side now. I have the positive battery terminals done now. So you see this one here comes along, follows up here and into this side here, and then this one here is the existing alternator, which I've now tucked underneath here to kind of get it out of this congested area here. So I'm just trying to clean up things a little bit as I go. The last thing I need to do is I need to get the correct end for this wire here, that's actually the one that goes to the starter, and connect it here. So those will be in tomorrow, and then we'll be able to finish the engine bay side of things. So here's what I've come up with for the battery and breakers. So we've got our battery mounted here. This breaker here is a 150 amp main system breaker. So the battery is going to come off positive around to here, from here off to starter, and from here to this one, this breaker here. This breaker here is going to be for the electric hydraulic power steering pump that's going to go in right up there. So that'll feed it, and then this here is a 30 amp fuse for my fuel pump in the back. So nice thing with it being here is I can easily see if a breaker's popped. They're easy to access to reset, and they're out of the way, so if I have a passenger in the car, they're not going to bump it with their leg or their foot or anything, because it's back kind of underneath this where the seat will be. So it should work out okay. So that's it for me for tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to come back and start running the wires for this and get it all connected up to the front. Okay, so the battery is now mounted, bolted through the floor. I've got some big washers on the backside just to keep it from tearing through the floor, because it's only like 0.8 or 0.9 mil thick steel, so it's all mounted. And then I've got the breakers. So that one of the yellow tang is 150 amp. That's the main power breaker for the car. I've got it popped up right now, so that isolates the battery from the rest of the system. The one next to it is going to be the electric hydraulic power steering pump breaker. I don't have that in yet, but I'm also using the pull off the breaker for my fuel pump. The fuel pump is that fuse beside it. It's a 30 amp. And yeah, so that is that. And then if we look up in here, there's the bulkhead connector that I made with some bulkhead electrical fittings. So that's where everything connects through in here. And then we've got everything in here. So here's my two power feeds for the fuse box. You can see them coming off of here. So this one here is the starter, 6 gauge to the starter, factory wiring up to here for the alternator. This is the main power feed that used to go to the battery, so I've got this basically as the positive battery terminal in here now. And then below we have a ground that comes up and is connected onto there. I will be putting insulated boots on all the positive terminals here. It's part of the rules, and it's also safe, so you don't end up arcing it out. And then for the feed for the alternator and starter, I ended up putting some abrasion sleeve on it here, and some extra hydraulic line abrasive sleeve as well. And then it goes along and in between the strut tower and the engine. Well, that covers off me installing the battery relocation kit in my car. Everything was DIY. The only thing I bought was the battery box. Everything else is simple connectors bought at the local hardware store, and some sleeve and tape. So pretty easy project overall to do. Saved myself a couple pounds. The battery is significantly lighter than the stock one, but adding of the battery box and wiring and all that stuff probably equals out to 2 or 3 pound weight savings. I haven't added everything up yet, but I will. So next project is I'm going to try to get this electric hydraulic power steering pump into the car. I know I've talked about it a couple times, but I do want to get that checked off the list. So hope you enjoyed the episode. Talk to you next time. Bye.